Hello, it's a new week and we're back for Am I the A-hole? But instead of anime edition, we're gonna do BL Manhwa edition, and we're like, yeah. So BL Manhwa, or some people call it yaoi. Basically it's boys love. It is men romance, and I do happen to read it. I also read GLs too. I read everything. I'm for the people. But for this Am I the Asshole, we're going to be doing something, and it's going to be BL Manhwa focused. And I'm trying to be more consistent, so please clap for me because it's the second one. I said I was going to do some once a week. Okay, so am I the asshole for showing my gay friend my comic collection? I, 28 female, recently invited my 25 male gay friend over for dinner and just general hangout. We're both the only out queer people at work, so that's how we became friends. We started talking about literature and books and stuff, and I told him I preferred comics, and he asked what kind of comics. I was upfront with what kind of comics I liked. Boys love, which is like a genre of comic books that feature male-on-male romance and sex, more commonly called yaoi. And he was surprised and asked to see them. I took him to my bedroom where I kept my stuff and I showed him. He got really quiet when I started showing him comics I read, and I asked him what was wrong. He thought that I was kind of weird for reading and liking these comics, that it made him uncomfortable that I had a fixation on toxic and weird gay porn. I was hurt that he was talking about my interests like this, so I told him boys love was how I found out I was queer. But he was still uncomfortable, so I brushed it off and we went back to talking about other things. He's been kind of distant ever since then, and I'm wondering if he's just being sensitive or am I legitimately fucked up? So, am I the asshole for showing him my BL collection? It's like a toss-up here in what people's thoughts are. Take a minute to guess what the thread decided they were. And do you think they are not the asshole or they are the asshole? Drum roll. They decided not the asshole. So the first initial response says, nah. His reaction, though, is understandable, as he may have had to deal with gay fetishization before. He could need more reassurance before being okay with the idea that you enjoy BL. I hope you guys work things out. I kind of agree with that because, there are people who do in the fandom with that. They do fetishize gay men, or you read romance because you read romance, of course, but also some people read it because they want to see the sex. And for real. So somebody said yaoi can and often does go well beyond simple fetishization, and that is true. It can be pretty disturbing and can portray gay men as essentially predators. The two common archetypes are strong, mysterious man and childlike puppy with animal ears, who's also always the bottom. It'd take a lot more than reassurance for a guy to be okay with it. So that too, there are some BL manhwas that are toxic as heck. They focus around a lot of no consent, grapey culture and abuse, because sometimes it's oh, you're both men, so he could take it. It's no. The history behind BL and yaoi, though, too, it was the target demographic. Surprise, surprise. Although, gay men, you would think it would be, initially for them. In Japan, they marketed towards women. I believe it was in the 70s. I'm going off the dome, but I do remember when I read about it. Because they wanted women to experience love without the stereotypical kind of archetypes of a man and woman, because in most of the manhwas or mangas, it was focused so much on the sexualization and how do you say it, kind of misogynistic takes on the women. It only focused on the male's pleasure And they want to be able to have women experience love without always thinking about the woman. I don't know how to say it, but they wanted the readers to see that you can have love without, oh, this girl's boobs are cut down low, this girl's blah blah blah, where it's all focused on the sexualization of the woman. But then in turn you can say, so instead of sexualizing women, they're going to sexualize the men. It's like a toss-up. Okay, so we do have one where it says, you are the asshole. It was awkward for him because you're fetishizing gay men. It would be similarly awkward to show a black man your collection of BBC porn, or show a Japanese woman your collection of Japanese schoolgirl porn. Then somebody said, this exactly. And then one thing why they friend might have felt offended is because also OP said they owned a physical copy of Killing Stalking, which is not only porn but also depicts extremely toxic and abusive relationship. If you have not read Killing Stalking, I suggest you don't. I think when I was like getting back into my BL era, people were like ranting and raving about it on TikTok, and that's the one place you don't want to trust, TikTok. But I remember I read a couple chapters and it got to where he was making him eat tuna or something. No, I can't do it. And besides, no offense, but that art is also ugly. I don't see how people could like Killing Stalking, because generally you're reading BL for romance, but that, and I know like dark romance is a thing because I am a dark romance reader on my Kindle, but Killing Stalking, And somebody said, you're the asshole, and forgot to mention the book also includes rape, murder, and incest for people who may not understand how far OP's fetishization of gay men and their relationships goes just beyond enjoying boys' love. See, I do like boys' love, and of course, like, you know, there's going to be the sexual aspect there, but I do not. The characters are made to be attractive. That's why they draw them. And if you didn't know, a lot of women are the artists of BL. They're made to be attractive. They're made to pull you in and read and engage, right? So when I read BL, I'm not picturing myself with these characters, to be honest, because I'm like, that's the character for the main character, and I'm rooting for the main character in their romance. I'm not closing my eyes and fantasizing that I'm in between them or with the characters. And the thing is, because they're gay, yeah, like if they were bi, maybe it was a different story, but that's my mindset. It's kind of like I am not rooting for them to be with me. I'm rooting for their story and romance, because there are some characters who I cannot stand and I will never see, like, but it's like, I think with my mindset, I'm not going into it as like ooh, I want them for me, on top of the fact that they're fictional characters, because I have a whole harem of fictional men that I love. But I feel like the BL boys will never hit my harem in my mind, because I feel like that's a personal boundary that has hit my head. This one is kind of how I was looking at it. It says, I'm torn between you're the asshole and not the asshole, because I totally get it from both perspectives here. On one hand, wanting to share the thing that helped you work out who you were and is something that you're really interested in. And on the other hand, yaoi just has a bad reputation. Yeah, it does have a bad reputation, but that's because of some of the people who make it weird. And to a certain extent, for a good reason. Just as there are plenty of lesbian porn designed for straight men, there's also plenty of yaoi designed by straight women for straight women. See, and that's where I talked about it too, because a lot of straight women with husbands and everything, they make BL, both of which can contain harmful stereotypes and fetishization. Obviously, not all yaoi is porn, but a lot of people think it is. Yeah, they hit the nail on the head with this, because I think I kind of agree with theirs. If you care about him as a friend, apologize for making him uncomfortable, and think about separating out the stuff that's more hardcore and putting it in somewhere separate. I read romance and used to read erotica, and the romance lives on the bookshelf while the erotica lives in its traditional home under the bed. P.S. Killing stalking 1000% needs to not be the one you show other people. When I read that, I didn't see them say that they showed them killing stalking, but it must be in the replies. It's definitely not especially not on a first introduction, and definitely not a work friend. Yeah, if that's one of the ones he picked up, you definitely need to apologize. Just from a quick Google, it deals with some serious topics that can be extremely traumatizing. I agree with that response. It's kind of like a yes and no for me. Someone said you're the asshole. You showed your gay friend your porn collection, and then someone said you're not the asshole because he asked to see your collection. You showed him and he didn't like it. He stated his feelings, you explained yours, and now he needs time to process. That's all. Your friendship may or may not move forward from here, but you didn't do anything wrong by showing him your comments as ass. Hope everything works out. The thing is, yeah, he did ask. He didn't have to see it. So I wonder what was the trigger. Someone said you're the asshole. It's weird when straight and even queer women have a fixation on BL and yaoi. Maybe if you like queer fictional materials in general, it would be fine. But having it all be BL comics, that's fetishization. Why am I not saying it right? And I kind of see where that is too. I read boys love and girls love. I know some women who just do boys love because they are attracted to men. And then a lot of people are like, you're not the asshole, but then a lot of people are like, you are, because killing stalking. And I feel like killing stalking is what, like, killing stalking, it was like the catalyst. Even though they deemed him you're the asshole, or her, you're the asshole, the whole consensus was that they're not. So here's one that I was looking for. Not the asshole. So here's the thing I feel like loads of people are overlooking here. There's nothing wrong with having a There's nothing wrong with having a fetish. I mean, I guess, but I feel like it depends on the type. Okay, you're attracted to what you're attracted to, and you don't have to feel guilty about that. That includes gay grape porn. What? Yes, truly. You can have a specific fetish, and that doesn't mean you will automatically fetishize, dehumanize actual people. Excuse me? Maybe I wasn't looking for this one. He started off strong. Where am I? So much of sexual fetishizing is rooted in complicated and somewhat inscrutable intermingling of psychology and desire. You don't have to figure it out or get over it. You can be attracted to whatever you're attracted to. And again, that doesn't mean you want to actively participate. You know what? But some people who do fantasize and have a fetish for gay grape porn, some people actually want to act out their fantasies. There are plenty of people into porn that depicts grape, fantasy, incest, BDSM, who have zero interest in actually actualizing it. Yeah, but there's a good amount that do. All that being said, it's okay for your friend to feel uncomfortable. You can't control that, and you need to that just felt like it was kind of brushy. The car 55 tar, that was kind of too much. I don't know. So someone did ask, info, I need more information before I can decide what kind of yaoi was it. Is it just romantic? Is it hentai? If it was hentai, did you warn beforehand? That's true. Did you warn? And how twisted? True. OP said it's kind of a mix. I have some fluff, some romance, some porn, and some stuff that you could describe as twisted. So they had like the whole petri dish. I've been buying physical copies ever since I got a steady job. So while my collection isn't like half a room huge, I say it's a decent size and can occupy. And then they said, honestly, I'm kind of leaning towards not the asshole if you warned him beforehand. I think that is my whole thing. Like, if she warned him beforehand and she did say it and he did say he wanted to see it, but I feel like a lot of people are trying to villainize her. Someone did it gentle, you're the asshole. Oh, we have an update. Small update from OP. For anybody who's still interested in this whole fiasco, my friend and I talked it over properly. Like I probably should have done a while ago anyways, but I guess my hope was that he'd just forget it. No, you need to talk about it. Since it was completely embarrassing. To everybody who gave me genuine advice, thank you. We're obviously not 100% close or whatever, but I explained to him my interest in the genre, even its most problematic works, and that I don't really get off to anything in the collection despite some of it having pornographic elements. Like what I said. We had a really interesting conversation about fetishization and objectification, and I think we're kind of good now. To everybody who's saying I showed him grape and torture porn, what on God's earth are you even talking about? Oh, so they did not. The stuff he picked up were things like Given, Umibe, No and Stranger, I Hear, The Sunspot, and a couple of Doyings. Oh, I did not show him killing, stalking, or anything like that. So were people just making up stuff in this thread? Child, I just own a physical copy. Oh, so you do own it. And he saw that I had it. So killing, stalking might have been the trigger. I also don't know why there's a few comments on here stating that I get off on torturing and graping gay men. Or that everything in BL genre is grapey and toxic. I also don't know why people are on here getting that the only things I read are yaoi, and that my entire life revolved around reading and working about gay men, and not like it's a preference. It's just a little interest of mine. I'll admit that my wording for the judgment bot was kind of flippant, in that I refer to the works that I've gathered as my porn collection, but I assumed that if it had works and pornographic elements in them that made them automatically porn. Guess not. You learn new things every day, even as an adult. Hope everyone had a good night. Okay, so I'm glad they worked that out. A lot of people in the comments, I will say, they probably did take an extra mile and started calling her a rapist and all that stuff, but I want to know, what do you think about this? And do you think she's the asshole? Do you even read BL? Do you read GL? Do you read that whole like little genre? And I'll see you guys next week. Bye bye.